Right, we'll do some walking and talking because I'm going to talk about how I kind of realised there was something wrong with me before I was officially, well, wrong with me. Um, Before I officially got diagnosed. Obviously, being neurodivergent doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you, it just means that your brain's a little bit different. But some of these stories are certainly quite funny. Like I think one of the earliest things that made me realise that I felt like I was a bit different was when I was working in an office space, and I used to get these emails from managers being like, can you come for a quick chat please? I'm not kidding, this used to send me absolutely haywire, and I couldn't understand how anyone else was happy with this. Ended up speaking to the managers and HR about it, like, what is going on with these aggressive emails, come for a quick chat? I was like, as soon as you send this, I feel like it's going to be the end of the world. Can you please stop doing this? And they absolutely didn't understand. The other staff and the people I worked with had no idea what on earth I was on about. And it's looking back now, I realise that that's one of the earliest signs I had. I just felt so uncomfortable with this type of thing. But that's one of the things about ADHD. These little messages like, can you give me a call? Can we have a quick chat? These things can really send your mind crazy because you're thinking of the worst thing. And that was definitely one of the earliest signs that sort of made me realise there was something a little bit different in my brain. This one is a bit mental, but you might be able to relate to it if you do have ADHD. One of the things I'd noticed as well, and look, I've removed myself from this now, but one of the things I had noticed was when it came to like arguments and debates, I would play like a devil's advocate thing. I'd almost like not have my own actual belief inside. I would just want to be able to enter it for the sake of getting into debate and a bit of an argument. It was so strange. And then I learned it was all about reward and dopamine. So literally, people could be in a debate and everyone would maybe be on the one side. Something I actually probably agreed with. Say something like veganism, for example. I totally get that. I totally understand it. Save the animals and all that and everything. And at one stage I was a vegan. And the funny thing is, I could just flip-flop sides with a topic like that. Just see it from both sides and then get into a heated debate and argument just for the sake of it. That was one of the rife things in my mind about ADHD. It's like being able to just float in the middle, look for a debating argument, because it's all about like satisfying this inner sort of craving and dopamine boost that I get from a bit of conflict. And look, that is not reserved to just like a sit down face to face dinner table or dark pub room debate. This can go into online as well. Sometimes it's so easy just to pick a fight online to get that dopamine hit. It's proper weird stuff. I don't know how my brain works like this. I mean, I've learned way more now to just leave it, because actually ADHD just get triggered there with a huge announcement from the spa. But yeah, the online thing is like, you can be running about on the internet, scanning comment sections, trying to find anyone to get into some sort of debate and argument with, and it's just my ADHD hunting dopamine down like crazy at the expense of others. But it does give me a bit of anxiety, and I overthink it, and if I do it right at the beginning of the day, it's something that will right wind me up. So now I do try and avoid it if I'm honest. So yeah, we've got this whole thing with ADHD. It makes you want to get into like conflict and debates for that sort of dopamine boost. So it's like terrible for the internet. It's terrible for the real life. But I mean, sometimes people get it and then people just think you're like, you know, you love a debate, and that thing doesn't come across that badly. But I mean, there's other things to this. We've got the mysterious world of when you're getting into relationships. Look, this is a mind-boggling one, and when I look back on this at the failed relationships I've had and some of the things I've been accused of, you're going to want to hear this. One of the things with ADHD is, even though you're at a zebra crossing, you never actually want to step out onto the zebra crossing to stop the traffic. I get to the zebra crossing, hear a car, and then I kind of act like I'm not going to use the zebra crossing, so the car just passes. Anyway, on to the next thing. This is quite funny because when I look back now at these problems that I've had in previous relationships and things I've been accused of not being loving and caring and things like that, it's really quite the opposite. But it's just been my ADHD behaviour that's made people analyse me like this and think this way. I mean, when I like someone and I'm in a relationship with them, I'll do anything for them. I love to do things for them. I love to do surprises. I love to help them out, I love to give them lifts, do gifts, make plans, all that sort of stuff. But you know what, in a way, it is kind of on my terms almost. It's kind of like I want to be the one doing the surprising, and then all the excitement and everything runs through me. This flips a little bit when you get serious into a relationship, and then suddenly you feel like the person that you're with starts to expect things. ADHD is very odd. Like, when you feel like someone's telling you something to do, or when they're expecting you to do something, you can actually pull back a bit. And this comes across so badly, like you don't care. But it's just the way your brain's wired. You have an almost resistance to like rules and expectations. You'll notice it with so many different things in life, but in a long-term relationship, it's really, really bad. So I've actually been alone for quite a while now, because this is quite a tough one to navigate. Once I seem to get to the 1.5-2 year mark, things start to go downhill, because naturally people expect things of you, they ask you to do things, and you have this almost resistance of like, well, can you not do it yourself? Why do you need me to do it? And it becomes a bit tricky. However, I feel like now the way to flip that round, because ADHD is all about your sort of inner mental reward mechanism, and I feel like a good way to counter this would be to think of the reward as being as something that they would like you to do, and it would make them feel good. If you can have your dopamine get hit by making them feel good, then I feel like this is a massive step forward to having a long-lasting relationship. So yeah, how many of these did you relate to? These are all things that when I look back now, when I was undiagnosed, that I realise how many problems in my life it caused for me, and how many problems it actually caused for others as well. So to sum up, you were in that workplace environment, people sending things, can we have a quick call, can we have a quick catch up? You'd be automatically assuming it was the end of the world, like you'd done something wrong, to the point you would just completely want to avoid it, or feel extremely awkward and uncomfortable. The other thing was, you just love getting in debates, whether it's on the internet or real life. You flip-flop sides so that you can get a debate at any place, any time. It's absolutely crazy. And then in relationships with people, being told what to do, expectations, demands, you really struggle with this. You feel like you want to break the rules and not do what you're told. This all comes across wrong. So these normal things that neurotypical people get to not think twice about, we're thinking more than twice about. We're thinking about these things 100 times, 100 different possible outcomes of why we could be requested to do things and why people say things. We live this world of constant overthinking, and it's not that we don't want to do anything, we're just analysing everything that we do all the time, and it can become so exhausting and overwhelming. But there is benefits to these. The benefit is you've ran through the 1,000 hypothetical scenarios and things and expectations that can happen, and you're prepared for the unexpected all the time. This is what I find. I feel like nothing surprises me. I feel like I almost know what's going to happen next. It's very, very odd. You've got like a grand intuition of how the world works, how people work. You can assess people, circumstances and situations very, very fast, very, very easily. And it's just because your brain has rehearsed it your entire life. That is what has happened to me.